This is News Review. My name is Lamin Jai. Coming up, women at Brikama Market are wallowing in misery due to wastewater that comes from the fish market there. I was in Brikama last week and we have a full report for you. Tomorrow is Christmas. A top priest at St. Teresa's Parish has been speaking to the Father Network about the event tomorrow. Oji has also spoken to the Father Network days after Imam Fati lashed out at him and to Manjai regarding their mosque comments there. These and more coming up, but first, as usual, we'll do a review of the newspapers. I'll begin with the Standard. I also have the Point. I'll look at that too. So through the stories there, their lead is on Khalifa Saleh. He's asking a question there. Are the 3 years Jotna going to overthrow government? That's according to Honorable Khalifa Saleh. NAM, that's National Assembly member, suspects foul play in fisheries fire outbreak. Also, 3 years Jotna has no plans to force Barrow out. That's according to the 3 years Jotna people there. Legend Saja Barrow gets hero's farewell. That's the veteran Gambian journalist there, Saja Barrow, who died on Sunday. Also, investigation reveals hundreds of companies use fake Gambian business address. So we will quickly go through the story. The National Assembly member for Serekunda has called on the 3 years Jotna to state clearly if they intend to overthrow the government on 20 January. Speaking at the National Assembly on the adjournment debate, Khalifa Saleh said the people who combine to bring about the change deserve respect and cannot be insulted because they effected a change that no one could bring in decades. Seeing him speaking there, in a democracy, the law controls the rights and powers of the people, and the power of the people must be recognized based on law. Yes, we agree 3 years, which is only possible under the Gambian Constitution under Section 65, but the normal mandate is 5 years. If you have a contract with someone and he says he no longer recognizes the contract, thus the law comes in. What National Assembly members and leaders of parties should tell the people is that the law states 5 years. So if you betray a confidence of 3 years, when the 5 years comes, that is the red line. If you pass that red line, the power of the people and the power of the law will ring on your head. That's according to Honorable Khalifa Saleh there speaking yesterday. Also, NAM suspects foul play in fisheries fire outbreak. The National Assembly member for Kiang Central has yesterday called on the government to investigate the recent fire outbreak at the Fisheries Ministry. Speaking at the Assembly yesterday during the adjournment debate, Bakari Kamara said, while we are all saddened by the incident, it is necessary for the government to investigate the matter. What I have seen and observed is that there could be something else behind it. That's according to Bakari Kamara, National Assembly member for Kiang Central there. 3 years Jotna has no plans to force Barrow out. Operation 3 years Jotna, a pressure group calling on President Adam Barrow to respect the coalition 3-year mandate, has played down reports that they are planning to storm the State House in January and force President Barrow to relinquish power. The pressure group threatened to camp thousands of protesters at State House on 19 January to demand for the resignation of President Barrow, as indicated in the petition delivered to the government after their peaceful procession. Also, Information Minister urges community radios to stop siding with political parties. Information Minister Ibrahim Asila has urged community radios to stop siding with political parties in their media platforms, speaking recently at a one-day national stakeholder forum on community media organized by the GPU. Ibrahim Asila said community radios should totally divorce themselves from all practices that may divide their own community members. Legend Saja Barrow gets hero's farewell. Thousands of mourners attended the funeral of famous radio journalist Saja Barrow, who died at his Bruce Lee house Sunday. Among the mourners were Minister of Information Ibrahim Asila and that of Tourism Minister Ahmad Bah. So we will turn to the Point then. The Point is reporting on the budget. Their 2020 budget, national budget, shows vulnerability of youth sector. Disabled people experience discrimination during, that's according to an event there. GRTS mourns demise of veteran broadcaster Sajo Barrow back. That's become an area council CEO calls on Gambians to put country first. We will go through the stories. Rohibite Dabo, Permanent Secretary at the Ministry of Women, Children and Social Welfare, has said that everyone has the right to vote and be voted for, but women and girls and physically challenged people are diverse groups who experience various degrees of discrimination and face many systemic barriers in exercising their political rights. Madam Bite Dabo was speaking on Friday during a two-day advocacy seminar for National Assembly members on inclusion, participation, and representation of women, youth, and people with disabilities. BAC CEO, Brikama Area Council CEO, calls on Gambians to put country first. Momodu Jonga, Chief Executive Officer of Brikama Area Councils, has said we should endeavor to put the Gambia first, as well as endeavor to choose unity over division. Mr. Jonga made these remarks last Friday while deputizing for the governor of the West Coast region during Geneva Center for Security Sector Governance DCAF engagement with the region's chiefs, Alkalolu, councillors, youth representatives, and security officers on the ongoing security sector reform in the Gambia. So, very well. I think those are the reports or the stories on the newspapers today. So we will go to our first story there. Former PPP leader, rather, Omar Jallow OJ, has reacted to criticism that has been directed at him over his mosque comments. OJ recently suggested that the new draft constitution should frown at any attempt to build mosques or churches in public places. His comments, however, sparked criticism and anger, with top Gambian Imam Abdullah Fati devoting his last Friday's sermon to lash out at him, and as well as Tuma Njai. And the Imam went as far as saying, if they had lived in the time of Prophet Muhammad's companion Omar, who was also a general, they would have lost their heads, meaning they would have been beheaded. So Omar Wali sat with OJ, where he reacted to the criticisms there.
Thank you so much, Mr. Jallow, for granting us this interview. Recently, the Constitutional Review Commission held a consultation in which you participated and said there should be a clause in the new constitution which should ban people not to build mosques in public institutions or churches. But we also received reports in the media that you're advocating for mosques to be banned. Can you clarify on this issue?
Thank you very much, Omar Wali. I think this is very, very, very important, because I have also heard and seen a lot of misrepresentation of my speech by people who, I don't know whether they misunderstood what I said or they are doing it willfully. They have other ulterior motives, I don't know. But as a Muslim, I know destroying a mosque or a mosque is not acceptable. What I said is, and it's clear, people should listen to my speech, that we should put in the present constitution a section that will ban the building of mosques or churches in any government or state institution. That is what I said, because I was at the CRRC not because I want to go and portray my Islamism. I was there to contribute to the supreme law of this country that will bring peace and stability in the country, where each and every Gambian, irrespective of your beliefs, of your tribes, to live together in peace and harmony. That is why, as a Muslim, I was trying to portray the very reason that the Prophet, when he was given problems by his very families in Mecca, where he was born, his parents were born, he has to run away and go to Medina. And that time in Medina, there was not one Muslim in Medina. They were all Jews and Christians. But they lived with him and accommodated him. And eventually, even he has to sign an agreement between the Muslims, the Jews, and the Christians, so that they can live in peace and harmony. That's what I was trying to promote, because God has brought us here to live. As much as we are different, there is diversity. God has said in the Quran that we should live in peace and live in peace with each other and love each other. That's what I was promoting. Anybody who says that I have advocated for the destruction of a church or a mosque has misrepresented me. I have never ever said that, and I will never say that. I am saying from now on we should desist from building religious edifices in government or state institutions, and I maintain that.
So what is the argument behind this? Because when you talk to some Gambians, they will tell you whether you have a mosque in public institutions or not, when prayer time comes, people will take that time and pray, even if it's going to be either 2 p.m. or 5 p.m.
What I'm saying is, there are so many countries. You go to Senegal, there are no mosque built in their government premises. When I was minister, I have masajada in my office. I pray at 2 o'clock. But 5 o'clock will not meet me in my office. Why should we allow to waste so much resources to build a mosque that people can only use once in the day and not the 5 prayers? There are so many villages and towns in Gambia that need this mosque more than the offices of state. That's why I'm advocating for. That's why I said it there. That instead of building a mosque that will be only used for 1 prayer in the day, I would prefer and I would advocate for those mosques to be built in villages and towns where the people of those communities will use these institutions for the 5 daily prayers and the church for the 2 daily prayers.
This debate has been ongoing, and initially it was triggered by an MP from the party you also belong to. And many people have been criticizing you people for this comment.
They can criticize. That's what we are all here for. Up to today, some people who have lived with the Prophet don't still believe in him. So for me, criticism is part of life. But what I'm saying is, let us avoid making false criticism and criticizing issues that are not in line with what the person says or those person says. I am saying that we are living in a country where all people should be respected and their beliefs should be respected so that we can live in peace. That's what I'm saying. I'm saying that if the Prophet who made me a Muslim can live in peace as a minority in Medina, why can't we not also make sure we don't only accommodate, but we respect the beliefs of other religions and the cultures of other religions and the traditions so that we can live in harmony and we can coexist in peace?
Don't you think similar comments coming from you will create a kind of so much anger among many people in a society where we have Muslims and Christians, especially from the Muslim community?
Well, then anybody who is angry with what I said from the Muslim community don't understand what Islam is all about. Islam is all about peace. Islam is all about accommodation. Islam is all about forgiveness. If you are a Muslim, then you have to accept to accommodate and respect other people's beliefs. And then accommodate other people's opinions so that we can coexist and live in peace and harmony. Because God could have brought only 1 prophet and made sure all of us believe in him or her. But he brought so many prophets. So why are we fighting over what I believe or what other people believe? Let us leave that to God for the judgment day to decide on that. Who am I to judge?
What do you have for those who think that you initially said the mosque should be banned or should not be demolished?
I think those people have more ulterior motives, because I would like you to take my statement, full statement, play it on your radio, and let everybody listen where I have said mosque will be demolished. I said the new constitution should provide for a ban on the building of mosques and churches in government-owned institutions. I am a Muslim and I know that destroying mosques or churches is against the beliefs of my religion. But I'm saying that because those mistakes, I see them as mistakes, were done, they should not be repeated. But I have never ever advocated for the demolition or breaking up of churches or mosques in government institutions.
Thank you so much.
For the first time in the Gambia, your favorite GSM operator, Africell, is the first and only GSM operator to launch a brand new technology called the eSIM. The eSIM simply means you can use your phone without a SIM card. Do you have an iPhone 11, any of the iPhone X series, a Google Pixel 3, or any new phone that supports the e-technology? Visit any Africell customer care center. Activate your eSIM today. With your virtual Africell SIM, you can use more than one number without having a physical SIM card in your phone. Enjoy this brand new technology for the first time in the Gambia, brought to you by Africell. eSIM, your phone without a SIM card. For more information, please call 111. Where Africell goes, nobody dares to follow.
So now, women at Brikama Market are complaining of the poor state of the market there. Brikama Market is the go-to market for thousands of Gambian women in the West Coast region. But the condition of the market is terrible. The women are forced to put up with foul smell that is coming from wastewater, a wastewater that originates from a fish market inside the market there. I was at the market last week, and what I found is appalling. This is Brikama Market, one of the busiest markets that you can ever find in the country. People from almost every district that are closer to Brikama, from Combo North to Combo South to Combo Central to Combo East, women, all of them would come to this market. This is the market that they would come to for business. But the condition here is really bad. There is water, stinking water everywhere. I mean, these women here are suffering, and what they are saying is that this water comes from a fish storage facility that is somewhere here in this market. That is where this water is coming from. You can see their makeshift tables are all submerged, and the women here are complaining. They are saying that they pay their tax, but the council, the Brikama Area Council, is not doing anything as a way of ensuring that this condition of this market improves. So you can see women there trying to push out or bring their submerged makeshift table from the water there. The stench is really bad. That is the situation here. What we have been told is that there is a fish storage facility that is inside the market. That is where this water is coming from.
Sanko kubo nyama njie jubet na sandi dile fengo fankan amanyi nya vampuriado barinka domo abelari nje doli sasan doli tasan bagaso birin sibito astare bulfanyo sibiti nyankano me nya balta birin sibiti lungata sa nyon sibito la kana atenti alite be juti jola nyina kon ibe murebe dum balunda nyina kon ibe paso jola ibe lonki jola mora jubede balwo ko no ngamia no le muti isi dol ta siri ngamia non tolti fa be siri be firiri jie fonka bodamen dolbe siri air conditioner be fel ni pare be mu e barara lo sant ndol mandara nyewa villa jie be ngoto nyin ko jisu wule on balade fo sembenta ya ani musi ala naso diko ngalo ko nin cielle nyinde doni ya bondi je ban dol ngaje ko mo musoles wana nyimbe kan sila ngokay nyinde ndol meta kono bakal sa bina sanji fulo sir sa wosang jie ka keten nyin jie be ka bonye bungolt ndi amota mbatata nin nata wafurora kilianol fanka borinal andun kan dimba alla ko bondi janneto na fengol ben ka bondi janno na feferon ka bondi janneto tol mu banku dingolti man sidula soto ndi amota nyebun ton ko de mbatata ye to la dula suki ye jebe faynan toluka nin nata luwodun kabula nyi jiel kon jebe mu tumbollet nka wakile na bula ko pour ndingol la soma bari ndi amuto e mbatat ne manene ko be dana ko be ke ko ira hajitiji mbe hanente wa afro kala fayena ko juti sirfo sonko wonna na ma singolo jamfa nana carte fay mi
pour area council on ma tambi jam fam ka janjibe o ma no
kalong mune be jam
anena ma singolo jam na man ka jada mati wala kana lo jam barna carte fa tami anena ma singolo jam fam kana ka jan Kenya jibe anena mak sa entada je pour ka suko bonde e konte suko bonde la e manta jando kula mbesira kono wala nya andum mo banku dingolt ani GPTC ani area council
I think the market is one of the biggest asset that's within the jurisdiction of council. So therefore, whatever situation may be happening there, I know without an iota of doubt, we must be aware of it.
So now, here is the thing, the women who sell there, they are complaining bitterly because if you go there, the wastewater, I mean, it's everywhere. This water is coming from the fish facility, the fish market. And the water, I mean, it's causing these women great pain and suffering. They can't even sell. What is the council doing about this?
Yeah, I think in regards to that area, we still need to put up proper mechanisms to ensure that such of a thing is a history. But first of all, let me just put record straight. That place, the sources of that, I mean, liquid waste that you're talking about, it's the fish market. And that fish market, it is not within the management of council as we're speaking. It's have their own, I mean, management. It's have their own line of ministry. That's the Ministry of Fishery. So therefore, I mean, if they are doing such kind of things there, I think one thing, whatever you are held responsible of managing, you should be the first person, the first point of call to put up certain remedy actions in whatsoever is being generated there. So in a nutshell, Brikama Fish Market is not under the management of Brikama Area Council, but notwithstanding, that is not deterring us to do what we're supposed to do for the people of West Coast, because we are representing the people of West Coast, so their plight should be our responsive mechanism. But just to put things straight, that place, particular place, that's the fish market as the source of this liquid waste, is not within the management of Brikama Area Council.
But now you are saying that it is within your mandate or within your purview or within your responsibility to ensure that that place is taken care of. But what are you doing in respect of this as aware of, because this problem has been there for what, according to some women, 2 years. You have not done anything about it. The market, the fish market that you're talking about, I went there, but what they told me is this problem has been there for 10 years.
Yeah, I think it's like just basically what to say is like when a person is dissatisfied with some of things that are happening on a daily basis, they may just give reference to things, or they may just wish to say whatsoever it feels like or feel like fitting to them. What I can tell you is like we've been doing something to that area, and these are sometimes in collaboration with the fish market. Management together with Brikama Area Council. We embark on garbage collections there, kind of settles there and stuff. So basically, it is not something that we don't want to respond to, because it is happening within West Coast. And one of our core mandate is to ensure West Coast is free from waste. Though this can be a long term. It is not something that, we can say, okay, we're going to remedy it today. No, it's far beyond that. But indeed, we are concerned, and as a result, we're compelling ourselves to make sure we put up some kind of, proper mechanisms and strategies as to ensure that particular place or the entire West Coast is free from, waste. Basically, not to be absolutely free, because, waste is something, it's natural. Sometimes we can say, wherever you have human being, you expect a generation of waste. So basically, we are doing our level best. And but I think one thing that is very, very important here again is fish market. That particular place, it has been managed, as I said earlier, and I want to express again, that fish market is under the purview of Fish Market Management Committee, and I know they have their line of ministry that they are reporting to. So, in fact, there is a financial gain that the council is having there is very minimal, very, 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 very minimal. You understand? Because in fact, what I understand is like they were compelled to pay 20% of their annual revenue to council, but this has never been done. You
But
understand?
then what is the council doing in terms of working with this fish market, which is, you said, is not under the purview of the council, but what are you doing in terms of partnering with them to ensure that this problem is fixed? What are you doing? Can you tell us that?
Yeah, it's all about consultation and engagements, and basically I think we're doing that. This is something like from institution to an institution. And I mean, partnership and collaboration between institution and institution needs a proper consultative and engagement forums and stuff like that, and that's what we're doing.
But then you have the women. You have a duty when it comes to the women. The women, your revenue collection activity. That is one thing that you don't compromise with. What they are alleging is that there is currently a crackdown. You ask your officers to go and collect the daily duties from them by force, using force, and you are threatening to kick them out if they don't pay this duty tomorrow. The women protested today. They said they are not going to pay the daily duty, but you are threatening them that tomorrow when your officers come, they must pay the duty or they will be kicked out of that place. When the place is so bad, you cannot even fix that place.
One thing I want to just put across is like, you see, tax is an obligation. You understand? It's an obligation, irrespective of whatsoever it is.
But if people are paying their tax, you owe them that development, don't you?
Of course, indeed. That's why I am coming to. Tax is an obligation. But again, it is an obligation to the tax authority to also respond to the need of the people, particularly the taxpayers.
The people are saying that clearly you have failed in that regard.
No, maybe that's in that context, failure is like, maybe that would be their perceptions. I don't want to defy their perceptions, to be quite honest, but I think Brikama Area Council, by making comparison, is gaining a kind of momentum. It is very much responsive as to the needs of the people. So to conclude to say, oh, they are failing, I don't think that is something that I can, buy into.
And the market women also have a problem with your chairman. They said they voted this man in office, but this man has never taken the time to go to this market and find out and see himself firsthand, to know firsthand what these people are facing, the pain that they are living in. Don't you think the chairman owed them that? I came here, I wanted to talk to him, but he said he referred me to you. He didn't want to talk to me clearly.
I really don't want to assume and presume. I think that question, the best response you could have will be from the chairman himself. Maybe when we have time, then you can discuss with him about that kind of stuff.
But he referred me to you.
No, I can talk on behalf of the council as an institution, not on behalf of chairman personally. I hope you get me.
I get you very well. But what I'm saying is, chairman, I told him this has to do with him, his person. But he insisted on me talking to you.
And better still, what you need to understand also, we are having a council sitting. Probably that may be one of the reason why he's not he's not well prepared to get this thing a tete-a-tete with you. But let me assure you, he's that kind of person. He's very open. You understand? I believe when a proper arrangement has been done, if you even wish, I can do that. You understand? For you to have a kind of even 1 hour discussion with him, that will not be a problem. But as we're speaking, we are having a council sitting.
tomorrow is Christmas, and already Gambian Christians have stepped up preparations ahead of the event. But what is Christmas all about? Well, Jaka CCA JT spoke to Father Tanislas of the St. Teresa's Parish in Kanifing.
My name is Father Tanislas Ndeki, Assistant Priest, St. Teresa's Parish, Kanifing.
It's Christmas season. How do you feel about the season?
Christmas season is all about celebration. And if you like, the most celebrated feast in the world, as far as Christians are concerned, what are we celebrating? Very, very important. We are celebrating the birth of Christ. And we talk about the birth of Christ, we are prepared for 4 weeks. You know, that preparation is called Advent. For the past 4 weeks, we have prepared ourselves. And the first week, the preparation was all about hope. To let the people be hopeful. What are they hopeful of? The coming of Christ, the birth of Christ. And the second week of that preparation, we have the candle that we have 4 candles. The first one, the first candle was about hope. The second candle about peace. The third candle, rejoice, joy. They call it joy candle. And the fourth candle, that was just this past Sunday, was about love. So what are we celebrating? We are celebrating, hoping that what we hope for. And what are we hoping for? Peace. We believe that Jesus Christ is the Prince of Peace. He's our hope, He's our joy, He's our love, He's the light of the world. So Christmas is all about celebrating love, celebrating peace, celebrating joy and happiness. And not only celebrating peace and joy and happiness, but again to be ambassadors of this joy, happiness, and peace. Why are we called to be ambassadors? Because Christ says, those who believe in me should carry their cross and follow Him. And before His ascension, He says, go through the ends of the earth and proclaim the good news of Christ, baptized in the name of the Father and of the Son and of the Holy Spirit. So Christmas is the birth of this Prince of Peace. It's the birth of this joy. That is why we celebrate. And we also call Christmas a season of giving gifts. We give gifts. People have different ways. Culture varies, the type of gifts that people give. But the greatest gift that we are called to give is the gift of peace. And you can only give what you have. You cannot give what is not within you. So even as we celebrate today, even as we prepare our homes, even as we buy new clothes, even as we prepare outwardly, we are called to prepare the inside of ourselves. How can I prepare the inside of myself? It's about reflecting and looking at yourself. What have I done which is not right before God? Is there anyone in my community, in my family, in my society that I'm not talking to, that I'm not in good terms with? It is a moment that you reflect, for you to prepare for this celebration, for you to celebrate genuinely when you are able to reconcile with that person. It is a moment, also a moment of prayer. What do we pray for? We pray for this child that is born, this peace that is born, this light that is born, so that we experience it. Who are the people who are supposed to experience it? Human beings. And when we talk about human beings, we're talking about the world. So it's also a moment for all Gambians as we celebrate Christmas, Christians, to remember to pray for peace. Where do we need to pray for? What do we need to pray for? We need to pray for peace in our country. A country, Gambia, is, I always tell people, is the country that is blessed by God. And there is nobody, no human being, no living thing that can destroy this love that God has for this country. Our forefathers have prayed for this country. Our Muslims forefathers have prayed for this country. Our Christian forefathers have prayed for this country. So this country, no matter what plan you have to bring disunity in this country, you can never succeed. I am not confused. I am not afraid with what is happening recently about this aspect of secularism and so on and so forth. But the truth will always prevail. The truth will always triumph. So I want to invite all Christians. I want to first of all appreciate Fatu Network. I want to say I am grateful for giving me this opportunity to share what Christmas is all about. And I want to use this opportunity to encourage all Christians to understand what Christmas is all about. That Christmas is not only about eating and drinking, having your beer, having your drinks and so on and so forth, but it's more than that. Let us use this opportunity to pray for peace in the country. Let us use this opportunity to be hopeful that what God has done in this country, that no human being, no group of people can take it away. So let us be hopeful. Let us know that Gambia is a peaceful country. We always pray in our national anthem. We always pray for peace, that God will guide our action towards the what? The common good. And that should be the prayer of every Gambian during this season of Lent. So I want to take the opportunity once again, as we prepare ourselves tomorrow for the celebration of Christmas, we pray that peace will reign in ourselves individually, that peace will reign in our families, that peace will reign in our societies, that peace will reign in the Gambia at large, that Gambia will be a country where people will long to come, that Gambia will be a place where people will die to come and experience this peace that is God-given. May God continue to bless us with this peace as we celebrate Christmas. And I want to use this opportunity to wish a Merry Christmas and a prosperous New Year to Fatu Network and to all those who are listening and those viewers who are so full of love for Fatu Network. And we pray that this network will continue to be an instrument of peace which we celebrate during this season. So once again, thank you and Merry Christmas and a happy 2020. You're welcome.
Yow mi nekk America wala Europe wala yónnee mobile muy jël ay weer Smartphone House ñëw pour rek noppal leen looy def rek mooy nga def payment ñu deliver phone bi tey.
Asalaamaaleykum.
Maaleykum asalaam.
Man de sama jëkkër moo ma boole ak yéen. Mohamed Ndiaye.
Mohamed Ndiaye.
waaw Sweden.
maa ngi wax amoon tey si suba.
waaw daf ma call suma téléphone bi yaaxu mu ne ma demal Smartphone House ma ne ko waaye loolu gaaw na ni mu ne ma demal rek.
moom utal na la fi benn. mooy iPhone 8 Plus.
masha Allah.
ak Smartphone House emuñ ci jaay mobile rek waaye dañuy jaay computer ay yére ak daala yi nga xam ne rek original lañ ba tax nag ku bugg a xam fi nga xam ne mooy Smartphone House da ngaa dem Kairaba Avenue opposite fi nga xam ne mooy Barcelona shop.
Father Tanislas speaking to us there on Christmas. So with that, we will come to the end of today's show. Thank you very much for being there. Until we come your way again, my name is Lamin Jai.